Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Okay, so today we're diving into the world of AI. And, it's always fascinating, at least for me, to learn about the people behind, like, these technologies. And today we're focusing on Yoshua Bengio. And he's a big name in AI.
I'm really excited to dig into all this material you sent over. This guy's gone from, like, tinkering with electrical circuits in Montreal to, get this, trying to teach AI to learn like humans do.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned his early interest in circuits.
Yeah.
Because it gives us a little a glimpse into, like, his thinking. Bengio's journey, it's not a straight line. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's about this, like, fascination with understanding how complex systems work.
Right.
And that's something you see again and again in his work.
I can already see that from all this material. Like, even as a kid, he wasn't just playing with circuits. He was, like, taking them apart, like, really trying to figure out the how and the why.
Exactly. It's like this, like, an innate drive to understand those underlying mechanisms.
Which is crucial because AI, at its core, it's about replicating, like, human intelligence.
Right.
And that's incredibly complex. So you need that deep understanding of systems to even, like, begin to approach that.
And speaking of challenges, I was reading about his decision to study neural networks for his PhD.
Yeah.
This was back in the 80s, right?
Yeah, the 80s.
And, like, neural networks weren't, exactly, like, the hot topic back then.
They were practically considered science fiction.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was a bold move,
Right, yeah.
choosing a field that wasn't just, like, unpopular. It was practically unheard of.
He must have had a hunch about their potential, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, what did he see that others didn't? What made him dedicate himself to this, I don't know, this fringe field?
It goes back to that intellectual curiosity. He wasn't swayed by, trends. It wasn't about what was hot at the moment. It was about a deep belief in the power of an idea, even when everyone else thought it was, unconventional, even radical.
And that's huge, especially in a field like AI. Things are changing so fast. You need that willingness to kind of, like, push against the status quo, explore.
And explore he did.
Right.
After his PhD, he spends time at MIT and Bell Labs.
Oh, wow.
And this is where another crucial element comes in collaboration.
Okay.
He's working with these other brilliant minds, like, most notably, Yann LeCun.
Right.
Who later on wins the Turing Award alongside him.
Wow.
It's like, iron sharpens iron.
Right.
These collaborations were so important in shaping his path.
Absolutely. It's like, it just pushes the boundaries of what's possible.
Totally. And it's not just about working alongside other people.
Okay.
It's recognizing the value of a strong research community.
Okay.
And he actively cultivated that.
I see.
This actually leads him to create, like, one of the most influential AI research hubs anywhere.
You're talking about MILA.
Exactly, MILA.
Montreal Institute for Learning Algorithms.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that wasn't just about, like, advancing his own research.
Right.
It was about creating a space, bringing like-minded people together to share ideas, propel the field forward. It's like he had this vision.
A vision for the future of AI research.
And a vision for making sure that future was grounded in responsibility. Because even while he's building this hub, for innovation, Bengio is thinking deeply about the impact of AI on society. This isn't just about building cool tech.
Yeah.
It's about building it responsibly, ethically.
And that's something that, I don't know, really resonates, especially these days. You hear so much about the potential dangers of AI. So it's good to know that someone like Bengio, someone who's been there from the beginning, has been advocating for ethics right from the start.
Absolutely. And you see that concern woven throughout his work, It's not an afterthought. It's central to his whole approach to AI.
So we've talked about Bengio's, like, drive, to understand these complex systems and, like, his thing about building a responsible AI future. But, like, what about his actual, like, breakthroughs? Where do we even start?
Well, you could argue that his work on recurrent neural networks, or RNNs as they're called, are something that, like, touches our lives almost daily and we don't even realize it.
RNNs. Okay, so break that down for me.
Okay, so imagine you're typing a text message.
Right.
And your phone just seems to know what you're going to say next. Like,
Yeah.
it offers these word suggestions. Or think about those real-time translation tools.
Oh, right.
That can translate between languages instantly.
Yeah.
That's powered by RNNs. They're amazing at understanding, like, sequences and patterns, especially in language data.
Wow, I had no idea that RNNs were like the driving force behind those tools. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it was Bengio's work that really like advanced that field,
Oh.
paved the way for those applications and so many more.
You know, that's what I love about these deep dives. You know, you discover the hidden connections between these technologies, which seem really complex at first.
Yeah.
And like our everyday lives.
And sometimes those connections are more visual,
Okay.
even artistic, you could say.
Okay.
That's where his work on generative adversarial networks comes in, or GANs.
GANs, right. I've read a little bit about those.
Yeah, those are behind some of those AI art generators.
Right, the ones that are making those crazy photorealistic images.
Exactly. But it's not just about, making pretty pictures.
Yeah.
GANs, they work by pitting two AI systems against each other.
Oh, wow.
It's like you've got two AIs, right? One's trying to create these realistic images.
Okay.
And the other one's acting as a judge, basically. And it's constantly pushing the first AI to improve, to get better.
Oh, wow.
And this adversarial process, it's how they learn to create such realistic outputs.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's like this competition. And it makes them both more sophisticated. Makes you wonder, are we looking at a new form of creativity here?
It's a question that artists, technologists, philosophers, they're all kind of grappling with this now.
Right.
GANs have blurred the lines between human creativity and artificial creativity in a way that we've never seen before.
Yeah. It's exciting and a little unnerving all at the same time. It's no wonder that this groundbreaking work, especially on GANs and all his other contributions, that he won one of the top honors in computer science.
We're talking about the Turing Award.
Right, the Turing Award.
Often called the Nobel Prize of Computing.
Right.
And, what's remarkable is that he received it jointly with Geoffrey Hinton and Jan LeCun.
Oh, that's right. The three pioneers of deep learning.
Exactly. All recognized together.
Wow.
And it's not a coincidence, their work, while individually impressive, was deeply intertwined. They were always pushing each other, inspiring each other, building on each other's ideas. It's really a testament to collaboration, the interconnected nature of how science progresses.
It's like a relay race.
Yeah.
But for innovation.
Yeah.
And they're just pushing the baton further and further. And speaking of pushing boundaries, Bengio, he hasn't stopped at just developing these incredible technologies. He's very vocal about the ethical stuff too. It's like he's saying, hey, we've created this powerful tool, with great power.
It's like that Spider-Man quote.
Right. With great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. He's been incredibly clear about how AI could be misused, calling for safety regulations and ethical guidelines, responsible development, all of that. He's not shying away from those potential downsides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's confronting them head on.
Yeah, and it's not just about preventing AI from doing, doing harm or whatever. It's about making sure that it benefits everybody, all of humanity. Making sure that the future of AI is aligned with our values, what we want as humans.
100%. And that brings us to his current work, which is on self-supervised learning.
Okay.
Which is really about making AI more intuitive,
Okay.
more human-like in how it learns.
Okay, self-supervised learning. This is the one I was really curious about. So from what I understand, it's about getting AI to learn more like we do. But how do you teach a machine to teach itself? How does that even work?
Well, think about how, a child learns, right?
Okay.
They're looking at the world, they experiment, they're making connections on their own. They don't need to be explicitly told everything.
Right, like a child learning about gravity, for example, by dropping a toy.
Exactly.
They don't need a physics lecture.
Right. They learn through experience. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what Bengio is trying to do with self-supervised learning. Instead of, feeding the AI these massive amounts of labeled data, you can create environments where it can learn by just observing, experimenting, drawing its own conclusions.
So instead of us spoon-feeding it information, it learns by doing, by experiencing things. That's amazing.
And it's got the potential to be a complete game changer. Imagine AI that can learn new languages,
Probably.
solve complex problems, even create art, all without us having to give them these massive data sets and explicit instructions. That's the promise of self-supervised learning.
It sounds like we're on the verge of something completely new with AI, where machines aren't just these tools. but they're partners, in learning and discovery. But that also raises a lot of questions too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And Bengio will be the first to acknowledge that.
Right.
He's not just building the technology. He's asking those tough questions. What does it mean for AI to learn like us? What are the ethical implications of that? What does it mean for, the future of work or creativity, even our understanding of what intelligence is?
Yeah, it's like we're stepping into like uncharted territory here, technologically, but then ethically too. It's a lot.
It's daunting for sure, but it's also like incredibly exciting, Like this is our chance to redefine like how we even relate to technology.
Right.
To create AI that doesn't just like solve problems, but it helps us understand ourselves better.
Yeah.
Understand the world around us better.
And to your point about Bengio, it's reassuring that like these advancements, they're being driven by someone who's obviously brilliant, but like he's also really thoughtful about the implications of it all,
Yeah.
Like he's not shying away from the big questions.
Exactly. And that's what makes his story so interesting, I think, because he's not just a scientist in a lab, right?
Right.
He's a visionary, like he's a thought leader. He's shaping like the entire conversation around AI.
Yeah.
And he reminds us that the future of AI, it's not predetermined,
Yeah.
It's being shaped right now by the choices that we make, the questions that we're asking, the values that we prioritize.
So it's not just about like, the algorithms and the data and all that. It's about having some kind of vision for like the future, right? What we want to create with AI.
Exactly. And that future, it's not just about like technological advancement, It's about like human progress.
Right.
It's about like, can we use this to address like the world's biggest challenges, to unlock new levels of creativity, to really understand like what even is intelligence,
I think what's amazing about Bengio's story is that it's not just a story about artificial intelligence, right?
Right.
It's a story about human curiosity and determination.
Yeah.
And a sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
He's reminding us that even with these like crazy powerful technologies, and they're evolving so fast, but like the human element, it's still so important.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that's our deep dive into the life and work of Yoshua Bengio. I got to say, this one really got me thinking. What about you?
Oh, for sure. I always love, like digging into the minds of these pioneers like Bengio.
Yeah.
They remind us that, like the pursuit of knowledge and doing it like ethically and responsibly.
Yeah.
Those aren't just some abstract ideas.
No.
They're the driving forces behind some of the biggest leaps forward we've ever made,
And those leaps forward, as we've seen with Bengio's work,
Yeah.
they can touch like every part of our lives.
Totally.
To the way we communicate, the way we make art, even just like how we understand our own intelligence.
Yeah.
It's exciting, it's challenging, but ultimately I think it's hopeful.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone listening, will go and explore these ideas more on their own.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into like the heart of AI. And until next time, keep asking the big questions.
Yeah.
Because who knows, maybe you'll be the one shaping the future of AI.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.